Boots in Oxford and BHS in Reading had low levels of bacteria, but that was a rare piece of good news during our investigation. The changing facilities at Broad Street Mall are separate from the toilets. They looked good, but looks can be deceiving. Again, we found high levels of general bacteria and also traces of fecal streptococci. A wipe of the baby tray produced a positive result for cocaine. Other places we visited showed more hidden worries.
It's probably the danger is the fecal streptococci. We do have that in your intestines, but if a baby was to touch it, put the hands on it and then put the hands in the mouth and get an infection that way, it could cause sickness, diarrhoea, vomiting.
Our journey took us to a busy garage on the A40.
So straight away, as you can see, there's the strap on this side, but nothing to attach it to on the other side. It's actually broken, so it's not very secure.
We found high levels of bacteria, and we also found traces of fecal streptococci. Then came the cocaine test.
The swab starts off a pinky colour. It's actually leaving a blue residue. And the blue residue is positive for cocaine.
We did the test twice, and both times it came back positive for cocaine. This investigation ended in results which many people may find alarming. The question is, where would you choose to change your child?
Reshma Rumsey there with that investigation. Now, McDonald's have responded to the findings. They said, we have a number of serious concerns over the techniques used in this investigation, chiefly that it is ludicrous to apply food standards to a toilet facility. McDonald's apologises for the broken strap, which had already been identified and fixed before we were contacted by this programme.
BP, Mothercare and the Broad Street Mall told us that they are committed to high standards of hygiene and clean their facilities regularly at all times. They said they were surprised and dismayed at the findings and said they were isolated cases but promised a full inquiry and improvements.
And if you'd like to see that investigation in full, you can watch it on the web at itv.com/news.
Now, whilst we've been on air, it has been revealed that Gerry and Kate McCann have been asked by Portuguese police to take part in a reconstruction of the night their daughter Madeleine disappeared.
Now, this comes as key witnesses are being re-interviewed by police in Leicestershire this lunchtime over the disappearance of Madeleine McCann herself.
ITV's Phil Brewster is outside Leicestershire Police Headquarters now. Phil, a thought on that reconstruction breaking story in a moment. But first of all, what are these key witnesses being asked about?
Well, it's thought the questioning will focus on the events immediately after the disappearance of 4-year-old Madeleine McCann, specifically on apparent inconsistencies in the accounts given by the so-called Tapas 7. Now, these are friends of Kate and Gerry McCann who dined with the couple on the night that Madeleine disappeared in the resort of Praia de Luz. And it's thought the first person they're interviewing is Jane Tanner. Now, she's already given a description of a dark-haired man seen carrying a child in pyjamas on the resort near the McCann's apartment in Praia de Luz. Now, the police are stressing at this stage that the so-called Tapas 7 are witnesses, not suspects. And the family spokesman, Clarence Mitchell, has indeed said that he hopes that these interviews will remove any lingering doubts or suspicions that these people may have had any involvement at all in Madeleine's disappearance. Meanwhile, Kate and Gerry McCann themselves haven't been interviewed, but it has been confirmed that they have now been asked by Portuguese police to take part in a reconstruction in Portugal of the events of the night that Madeleine disappeared. We don't know whether they've agreed to that request yet. Meanwhile, of course, they remain arguido, or official suspects, in their daughter's disappearance.
Phil, thanks very much.
A reminder of our main stories this lunchtime now, and Britain's biggest mortgage lender, the Halifax, says house prices fell more steeply than at any time since the 1992 crash. But experts say it is unlikely there'll be a repeat of those doom and gloom-ridden days.
Detectives have been given more time to question Karen Matthews. Sorry, that's Madeleine McCann, whose parents are going to take part in a reconstruction. Karen Matthews' mother of Shannon Matthews is going to be re-questioned over allegations of perverting the course of justice.
And Mohammed Al-Fayed is today meeting his legal advisers to see what his next step should or could be after the inquest verdict on the death of Princess Diana and his son Dodi.
And that's it from us. The news where you are follows the national weather. But from both of us for now, bye-bye.
Goodbye.
Enjoy your family dwelling place. Sheila's wheels are on the case. Where the skies are grey or blue, it's home insurance made for you.
Hello, good afternoon. Continuing fairly grotty across the northern half of the UK as we move throughout Tuesday afternoon, particularly across Aberdeenshire, where it's going to be cloudy and fairly wintry as well, particularly across the higher ground. Now, further south, we are going to continue with the unsettled conditions, but sunny spells and showers here. Some of those showers could turn fairly wintry at times, but particularly, I think, across the northern parts of Wales. Now, as you can imagine, temperatures not terribly impressive for the time of year. I think probably mildest towards the south and southeast once again, where we could just about see them struggling into double figures. 10 Celsius, of course, is 50 in Fahrenheit. Looking ahead to tonight, a fairly similar story, but clearing up in the south for a time, a widespread frost, and watch out for some icy patches on the road. I'll give you an update later on. Goodbye.
Good afternoon. Around 160 people gathered at a public meeting in Downham Market last night to protest at plans to close nearly 70 post offices in Norfolk and West Suffolk. Liz Humphreys reports.
The fight is on, and these signs are now a familiar sight among post offices across the region. Last night's meeting was full as local people gathered to air their views. The meeting was set up by South West Norfolk MP Christopher Fraser.
Norfolk people are passionate about things that count for them, and it's right that we stand up to be counted. But it's the last nail in a coffin for many rural areas. Norfolk people fight to the end, and that's what we're going to do here until I hope we get some decent answers and some decent results for local people.
The government announced last year that 2,500 post offices across the country were earmarked for closure, including 69 in Norfolk and West Suffolk. The post office says it's not over, and there's still a chance for people to have a say.
We're currently in the consultation period, which finishes on the 2nd of June, and we would encourage local residents, customers to write into Post Office Limited during that time, voicing their concerns and giving us information about why they don't think that their local post office should close.
The post office says customers have changed their habits and that cutbacks are needed to safeguard the future of the network. But representatives are also going to meetings like this one on a regular basis, which continues to show the strength of public feeling against the closures. Liz Humphreys, Anglia News.
Security is to be bolstered at Stansted Airport thanks to a £1 million deal with the police. BAA is paying for new police officers in response to a growth in passenger numbers. The 3-year deal will allow the airport to fund an inspector as well as 18 police officers and 2 new vehicles. Stansted is now the 3rd busiest airport in the UK and the fastest growing international airport in Europe. Sport now, and Milton Keynes Dons are looking to return to the top of League 2 tonight. Fresh from Friday night's 2-1 win at Lincoln, they're looking to leapfrog local rivals Peterborough when they take on bottom of the table Wrexham at Stadium MK. The Dons do have injury doubts in defence, but otherwise should be at full strength. A bumper crowd's expected for their first home match since their Wembley triumph when they beat Grimsby to win the Johnstone's Paint Trophy. More than 70 rescued hedgehogs have been released into people's gardens and woodlands thanks to a wildlife park near Royston in Hertfordshire. Staff at Shepworth Wildlife Park were inundated with calls when they asked for help to find suitable places for hedgehogs to be released, and they say they were delighted with the response.
The phone didn't stop ringing. When the article went into the paper, huge numbers of people were ringing us, and they were turning up, taking away a couple at a time. And then literally, one by one, they've all gone until yesterday the last 2 were rehomed.
A quick reminder about how you can enter this year's People's Millions giveaway. ITV has joined up with the Big Lottery Fund to give away 5 awards of up to £50,000. Now, to apply, you must be a voluntary or community group, local authority or school, health body, social enterprise, and you must be able to use the £50,000 within 1 year, which shouldn't be too hard. So how can you enter this year's People's Millions? You can get your application form by calling this number, 0845 010 1112, 0845 010 1112, or go onto the website itv.com/People's Millions. The deadline is midday on May the 15th. Calls cost a maximum of 4p per minute from a BT landline. All the terms and conditions are at itv.com/People's Millions. So do apply and good luck. And now for a story about faraway lands brought back to Dunstable Library. Author Bill Brooks and his artist wife Kim spent 2 years travelling around Africa and the Amazon, taking photographs, sketches and putting together a wildlife book. They gave a talk to visitors at the library as part of the National Year of Reading.
My wife does actual field sketches. I duplicate what she's sketching in photograph form, so when she gets back to England, wherever it's been down the Amazon or across the Serengeti, we duplicate by photographs and field sketches, so it's authentic in the sense that we've actually seen what she's seen.
Time for the weather forecast now with David Hughes.
Lightening the load for home buyers. Mortgages from Norwich and Peterborough, sponsors of Anglia Weather.
Hello, good afternoon. We've had a lovely start to the day, a sunny morning, but stand by for some afternoon showers. You can see this swirl of cloud out in the North Sea. That's an area of low pressure keeping things unsettled. The main rain band associated with that is to the north of us, but you'll see clouds starting to build in our part of the world. It will mean a few more showers this afternoon. That area of low pressure, the influence of that is actually going to switch to the west as we go through the rest of the week. So we'll be in the sheltered east for some time on Wednesday and Thursday before this weather front moves in on Friday, bringing more showery conditions towards the weekend. But for this afternoon, it's a mixture of sunny spells and showers. Some of the showers may be on the heavy side, but it's hit and miss. Some places may stay dry. 9 or 10 degrees, so a little bit milder than it has been. 10 is 50 Fahrenheit, but still a little bit chilly for the time of year, and only light winds. Tonight, the showers will die out. Skies will clear, so once again, we'll find temperatures dipping to freezing or just below in some areas, so a widespread frost. And then tomorrow, it's a repeat performance of today, really. A lovely sunny start to the day, plenty of sunshine during the morning, blue skies, but cloud bubbling up in the afternoon for just 1 or 2 showers. They won't be quite so widespread tomorrow afternoon, and temperatures just a bit milder. Bye-bye for now.
Mortgages from the experts at Norwich and Peterborough.
And that's all from us. Join us, of course, for Anglia tonight at 6. Until then, have a good afternoon. Bye-bye.
Tuesday afternoon with a 60-minute makeover coming next. Then the Daily Cooks Challenge continues at 3 with Murder in Midsummer. That's later at 4.